What's going on, everybody? This is 4-Star Chicago Sports. We are at River Street Tavern in East Dundee, 102 North River Street if you want to come out. We got the Bears Commanders tonight. Right now, we got the Bills and the Falcons going. We're happy you're all here. We're happy to be here. What do you guys think we're going to talk about besides the Bears Commanders?
We're going to talk about Tyler Algier just sniping a touchdown from Bijan Robinson. Yeah, they pulled him. And we're going to talk about some things that had happened. We got Relentless Mikey in the house. He gave us a little word that Kyler Gordon is going to be spying on Jaden Daniels. That's the word that he heard driving down to the show today. That's going to be interesting in his first game back. It's going to be wet in Landover, Maryland here for this football game. And unfortunately for me, it's flipping my tide in my favor a little bit over to Washington with that power run game, 156 yards a game. Hopefully having Gordon back, having TJ Edwards back on this field. We will be minus Austin Booker still. Hopefully with these guys jumping back, we can slow down that run just enough, and the rain doesn't affect Caleb Williams in this passing game for the Chicago Bears.
We're not going to do the intro video.
No intro video.
Right now. Kyle, you didn't get to go on Wednesday to give your predictions. I mean, let's talk about this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's nice to have guys like TJ Edwards and Kyler Gordon back, but this is going to be a tough game, no doubt about it, guys. It's the same as it was last year in Washington. Again, I feel like every time the Bears play Washington, and for some reason it happens to be on the road. But the key to the game for me, guys, is I think Jacory Krosky-Merritt's going to get his. The Bears' run defense has obviously struggled. But despite those deficiencies, you have to find a way to stop Jaden Daniels from using his legs. If you let Jacory Krosky-Merritt get 100 yards rushing and you limit the passing game, the Bears stand a chance. If they have two 100-yard rushers, including Jaden Daniels, the Bears are going to be in trouble. So they have to keep a spy on him. Like Relentless Mikey broke the news here. They're talking about putting Kyler Gordon on him as a spy. I think that's the way that Dennis Allen always kind of wanted to use Kyler Gordon here. Use Swiss Army knife. It's nice to have him back, but I'm still going to go with the Bears to win this game, guys. I'm going to take the final score to be 28-24 Bears, but it's going to be a tough game. We've had that feeling in the past at times as Bears fans of doom and gloom, like there's no way the Bears can pull this off, but I think Caleb Williams changes that dynamic. If he is the guy we think he's going to be, if he's that Mahomes, that generational type quarterback, the guy who makes everybody around him better, the Bears should be able to squeeze away a win here if Caleb Williams plays at his best.
I've been having that feeling, man. Because we were here for a prime time game last year against the Vikings, and the Bears took a giant shit. And it seems like every prime time game, the Bears take a giant shit. And I keep having these visions of three and outs to start the game. Yeah. Are you guys having that vision in your head? Because I picked the Commanders to win this game. I think it's going to be a shootout, 31-27. I think is what I picked. But I mean, what are you guys worried at all about the Bears just coming out here and not being up to the task?
I definitely am, because their history, their last 12 games after the bye, they're 2-10. So hopefully this is another turning point with this organization, with the new head coach and the new management team here, that the Bears will be able to come out of a bye, look like a real team, be prepared, be ready to take these guys down. It's funny, Kyle has 28-24. My prediction was 27-24 Bears. I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to flip. I am extremely nervous about this, but let's see what we got. I'm going to leave my faith on the Bears here.
Well, it comes down to me for what you guys have already touched on, the fact that the Redskins Commanders, they can run the ball really well, and the Bears are really bad at stopping.
Yeah.
And this game is going to be established in that way by the Commanders. Obviously, the Commanders don't have Noah Brown. They don't have Terry McLaurin. So that makes an impact. Having Kyler Gordon back, maybe they got a mismatch in the secondary. But if you can't stop the fucking run, it doesn't
it's matter. It's going to be a problem.
It doesn't matter. So, if the Commanders can establish their will with that run game and just beat the Bears down, nothing else is going to matter. I think Caleb Williams is going to have to play with his hair on fire. Yeah. I think Caleb Williams is going to have to throw the shit out of the ball, because also the Bears can't run. So these are two big concerns going into this game tonight.
Well, it's also going to be interesting to see the improvements that the Bears have made in the bye week. And what you guys were talking about, I mean, Sean mentioned the fact that the Bears have not been good after the bye week. But you're talking about with the likes of Matt Nagy, Matt Eberflus, John Cox. That's not Ben Johnson. I expect Ben Johnson to make this improvements to this team every single week. He's going to make in-game adjustments. I think the Bears are going to be a little bit better at running the ball today. I don't know about stopping the run, because I just don't think they have the defensive personnel to do so. I think TJ Edwards and Kyler Gordon do change the dynamic of this defense a little bit. But ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, like I said, the only way the Bears are going to change their narrative from years past is if Caleb Williams is the guy we all think he is. And he can put the team on his shoulders and win a football game. He did that against Washington last year. If it wasn't for the blown Hail Mary, the Bears would have won that game. I think Caleb Williams has done him. I think he's due for a really big game tonight. I know it's raining. It's supposed to be stopped raining somewhere around halftime.
Yep.
That's when Caleb plays his bets, second half, fourth quarter in particular. So
that's a
the
huge
Bears can
problem.
pull this game up.
That's a huge problem, though, Kyle, because we're talking about a rain game where
Gotta keep control in the first half.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta keep control in the first
Caleb
half.
can't really get the passing game going in that first half. And Commanders, they're
running that
4
ball.
yards per rush on defense. They're averaging 5.6 on offense, and the Bears are allowing 6.1, and they're averaging 3.2.
Well, let's just keep in mind the Commanders overall are still bottom half in defense overall collectively.
Their run game has been better. and
Their run game is
pressure on
solid.
quarterback.
Hey guys, we also have to remember the Bears have allowed over 5 yards of rush for the last 2 games, in which they are 2-0. I mean, as long as you continue to take away the ball and be consistent on third down, you can still find a way to
Nice
push
job.
it. It's a bend don't break mentality, and right now I don't think that's what Dennis Allen and what this Bears team want, but that's the personnel that they have right now. So if the Bears can continue to be efficient on defensive third downs and take the ball away, I think there's a very good chance they win this game. It's all going to come down to Caleb Williams, guys. Like Sean said, if they run the ball successfully in the first half due to the rain, the Bears have to keep it close enough so that Caleb Williams can pull his fourth quarter heroics like he usually does, and the Bears can find a way to have the ball last in this game and find a way to score a touchdown or a field goal.
And make sure you know where my rock chalk Jayhawk is at all time, Dorrance Armstrong. Please body up on that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Commanders have 15, right? Look out. You were talking about the third down efficiency, which has been great, but the Bears have been one of the worst teams in the league on first down. So if they're allowing that many yards on first, and you never get to third in the first place, that efficiency doesn't really come into play. And that's really going to be established with that run game. So the weather, I think, really plays in the Commanders' favor, Brandon. And I have serious doubts about the Bears being able to stop the run in this game.
Yeah, they're probably not going to. I do like the fact that weather like this can increase the odds of forcing turnovers, which the Bears have been pretty good at. I think they're currently like third place in the NFL. So I would imagine the Bears are going to take the ball away a couple of times at least if the weather is the way it's being explained to me. Rain moving sideways. That's a problem.
And then
But
kicker, guys. We haven't even talked about the fact that Jake Moody got called up in this game. Santos is not going to be in this game. What if this game comes down to a kick? I've watched Jake Moody suck.
Yeah, you need it to be a short one. And Ben Johnson will be aware of it. Ben will know if he needs to go forward.
I'm all doom and gloom right now, aren't I? I don't have any good vibes about this.
It's rough, man. With weather like this and a team that runs the ball efficiently as your opponent, that's not good. It's not good.
Let's look for the hope real quick, because today Brian Callahan got fired, Tennessee Titans head coach, and that's the 4th number 1 overall pick who had their head coach fired in the first season of that rookie quarterback since Trevor Lawrence was drafted. So you start to look at it, and you're like, these teams don't know how to prepare these young number 1 overall picks for the NFL and give them success. Like that's what that trend is showing to me. The Bears went and hired Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's supposed to be the guy that helps Caleb find the success. I think tonight's game is huge for Ben Johnson to show that he has gotten through Caleb, and for Caleb to show that he's ready to step up. Because I think the offense needs to win this game, and I think Caleb needs to sling the fucking ball in a very accurate and poised way for the Bears to have a chance to win. So do we see Ben Johnson's effect start to make that impact on Caleb in a game that I think really is going to be season defining for the Bears in a lot of ways, guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you'd like to see Caleb play within the structure of the offense. The more that the season goes on, you'd like to see him get more comfortable in their center, get more comfortable with Ben Johnson. But you guys, I mean, I think this game means a lot to the Chicago Bears. Obviously, the new coaching staff here, but they lost that game last year in Washington, a heartbreaker. This is where Caleb Williams was born and raised. This is his home turf, his whole stomping ground. I'm sure he had this one circle on the schedule. Jaden Daniels got the first game. It's time for Caleb Williams to come and take the second.
It's going to be playoff-like football. You couldn't script this game any better than it is in regards to everything. Caleb going home, second-year quarterbacks playing again. Now the rain. But this is a really important game of the Bears season, guys, and I've said this time and time again. This stretch of games that the Bears are currently on is where they need to find wins if they do intend on being a team that's going to pursue anything postseason. Because you've got the Saints, you've got the Commanders, you've got the Giants. These are teams with losing records. It's time. Now is the time to win football.
So Eric,
I don't know. Finishing with Green Bay twice, San Francisco, The Eagles, I don't know where the wins are going to come late.
No, listen, and Erica says right here, and we did this on Thursday. This was our whole topic, Caleb's statement game. We kept going back to it. I think this needs to be Caleb's statement game. Erica says she thinks that's what it's going to be, and she's picking the Bears 40-20 win. That is optimistic, and I hope that fucking happens, Erica. But, like,
40 points
what
in the
needs to
rain.
happen for that statement game to take place here for Caleb? Because as Kyle just said, you're against the number 2 overall pick, who everybody's been saying is better than you if you're Caleb up to this point, right? And he has been. And you're on the road, and you're in your hometown, your home state. You need to perform. What do you think needs to happen for Caleb to be able to perform? My first thought goes to that offensive line with, Benedette making his first start at left tackle.
No, this is good. Caleb Williams has to be accurate. He has to be efficient. The Bears can't have any more wasted plays, especially when they're playing teams that they're so closely matched up against. You can't have these penalties where you're starting at 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20. You can't have give up sacks. The Bears have to find a way to continue to, even if you're running the ball at 3-4 yards a clip, continue to gain yards, positive yards on every single play, continue to keep yourself in the game.
DJ,
They're going to have to keep the first half close if it continues to rain through the first half.
So, DJ.
The weather starts to get better in the second half. That's what Caleb Williams needs to shine.
So, Jed,
Jed,
listen,
don't tell me what the fuck to do, man.
we talked about
Why
this.
aren't you here? Why aren't you here, Jed? How about that?
Yeah, Jed.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Mikey's here.
I mean,
you can
he's
tell me that's my face, Jed.
he's kind of here, but Dustin, we talked about this. I think even if Caleb is under pressure, under duress, he needs to stay within the structure of the play. If he makes read 1, makes read 2, he has to evade a rush, pick up on read 3 when you lift your eyes again. We talked about that being important to Caleb, even when under pressure. I pointed that out after JT O'Sullivan's QB school episode. If he stays within the structure of the play, he picks up the read he left off on when he's evading the rush. He's been really successful. I think he's been the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. So it's not like Caleb's been bad when under pressure. But I agree with you, Dustin. This offensive line is going to have to prove that Theo Benedict is better than Braxton Jones was in order for Caleb to make any kind of statement at
I
all.
think Theo is better than Braxton Jones. I don't think it's hard to be better than Braxton Jones. It's your
Especially this season.
It's your first start at left tackle. You're on the road in a prime time
And you're not
game.
facing a monster edge rush.
No, for sure. I just think it's a. What are you laughing at? What we got?
Mikey's here. He's in the chat there.
No excuses.
Calling people
Play
out.
like a champion.
Thanks, Mikey.
Phil says I'm a handsome dog, so I appreciate you, Phil. DJ Prophet is with us. Bears fans spawn.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us, guys.
All the Caleb haters have been real quiet. I mean, we'll see. I think they're waiting for tonight to see how
They know
this goes.
Mike
Start
is here.
picking up. Purple Jesus in the building.
There's not much hate to throw at Caleb currently, man.
All right, let me take this up.
Yeah, I think this needs to be a really big game for DeAndre Swift, guys. I understand that the Bears have not been good at running the ball. They've not been efficient running the ball. But if the Bears can find a way to get DeAndre Swift in open space, especially with the rain and the wind, I think he could have a huge impact, especially in the first half of this game. They need to find a way to keep themselves in it so they're still in reach in the fourth quarter and Caleb Williams can work his magic. I agree with Erica. If the Bears want to start winning games like this against good teams, Caleb needs to start having these statement games. He needs to separate himself from the rest of the pack in the NFL. So far through this year, Caleb Williams is ranked first and second in almost every single statistical category amongst second-year quarterbacks or rookies. He needs to continue that trajectory, get better every week, get more comfortable with Ben Johnson, and continue to build that camaraderie. And I think Caleb Williams is going to play well within the structure of this offense. Listen, I know Washington's defense has been better at getting after the quarterback than most people expected, considering they don't have any superstars in that line. But I think the Bears' offensive line is going to play well today. I think I agree with you guys 100%. Theo Benedict or anybody else on the planet is basically an upgrade over Braxton Jones. It's nice to see that Ben Johnson has a very short leash for these guys. He's going to put the best 11 on the field at all times. I think the Bears are going to show up and come to play this game. I think the Bears are going to win, guys.
I agree with you on running the football effectively. The Bears have had to do that all year, and they need to continue to try for sure. But I don't think the DeAndre Swift thing, guys, one of the highest transaction trends in fantasy football this week was Kyle Monangai, and I think that's for a good reason. The Bears need to look elsewhere for answers because they're not finding it in what they're doing.
Is it Monangai or is it Roshan?
Plus, Monangai
Kyle Monangai was a
complement DeAndre
transaction
Swift.
trend this
I
week.
understand, but I'm asking you tonight. Roshan?
I don't see
They're not gonna
Roshan.
get
I don't see
some
Roshan
more
all of a
action.
sudden getting more snaps than Kyle Monangai.
I would love it to be Monangai. I would love him to get more opportunities between the tackles because I think the Bears.
I would
need that
love for the
desperately.
Bears to try something different than what
You
they've
gotta do
been
something.
doing because it's
You
not
gotta give
working.
this
And there's
kid
got to be an
12
answer
carries.
on this
And if
roster
it's
if you're
not
not
him,
adding
Roshan.
anyone.
For sure. I mean, you gotta assert your will and like dominate the game in some kind of way. DeAndre Swift is not that bad. We all know that.
He needs a compliment.
He's not
But
that guy.
if he does get that
He's not
compliment, and the Bears
He's
can
not a
find-
3 down
find
back,
somebody
and when
like
you
a
use him
Roshan
that way, he
Johnson
becomes less effective.
to beat up the defensive line a little bit, the longer you get into the game, the more dangerous DeAndre Swift's going to be. If you can get DeAndre Swift in open space, and like I said, guys, go look at the Washington Commanders' defensive roster.
DeAndre, not
There's
Swift.
nobody who really stands out. They don't. It's not like they have a bunch of studs on the Commanders' defense. The Bears can find holes. The Bears can find a way to beat this team. They just have to play efficiently, and they cannot make mistakes. They can't shoot themselves in the foot. I think the longer they play under head coach Ben Johnson, the less of those mental errors you're going to see. And I think it starts this week after the bye week. And I think this is Caleb Williams' time to shine. This is his time to prove it. You want to be considered one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You're playing in prime time Monday night against the guy who was drafted after you. Go out there and win a football game.
Yes, Caleb needs to put the team on his back tonight.
Yes.
But the weather does make that a bit of a, in terms of
Man, need to watch out for it. Caleb can run the ball as well.
As,
Oh, yeah.
as,
He
as
can.
excited as I am to hear what Mikey reported to us, I do think that Kyler Gordon should be used in that way. Dustin, we talked about it on Thursday. Remember, I told you that
what'd you tell me?
Kyler Gordon will spy Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
And that's the way he's going to use him. Like Kyle said, he's a Swiss Army
But
knife.
it's
So,
Kyler Gordon
so
back at
today-
full 100%.
but regardless, if today his purpose is to serve, is to spy a quarterback, that's what they'll use him for today. Next week, he could be doing something different. That's the Swiss Army knife. You do what's needed. But not getting Austin Booker back, guys, was a big
That's a
deal to me.
problem.
I got
Yeah,
that
it
text
sucks.
today.
That's a hit.
And your most athletic and probably only athletic enough pass rusher to keep up with Jaden Daniels or chase down Jaden Daniels is not going to be in this football game. That's
I don't
huge.
want to be keeping up with Jaden Daniels.
He's
I
gonna
don't want to be chasing him down. Contain him in the pocket. Make him
Of course,
a
but
passer,
he's gonna
especially
get
in
him.
this weather, right? And just make him beat you with the pass. Do not let him run on you. As Kyle said, and I said this on Thursday, if Jaden Daniels takes off on you, you're done. The Bears can't stop the run as it is. They're not filling the gaps. And
Yeah, that's why he's
Jaden
probably going to be
Daniels can
successful.
win this game with his legs single-handed.
And he has been, I'll
100%.
say this, he's been a different Jaden Daniels this season. But this feels like a game in which he could start to get things in
He
his
can
swing.
start
He
getting
just
right.
came back from his injury. He looks a little healthier. The Bears might be the game in which he opens it up on. And you know what? I thought the Bears did a good job last year containing Jaden Daniels. He didn't look
I
like
was thinking a shootout tonight, but this weather really kind of changes that, right? Like, are we looking at a 17 to 14 game, guys?
With the rain
You
and
think so, Mikey? Mikey thinks so.
with the rain and the injuries that Washington sustained, you're talking about one of their best offensive linemen and two of the receivers missing this game. The Bears can find a way to make this team one-dimensional. And like you said, you keep a spy in Jaden Daniels, and it all comes down to Corey Krosky-Merritt. That guy still has a lot to prove, although he's looked good in weeks past. But
Bill,
the Bears' secondary has been opportunistic, and if Washington wants to throw the ball, they can take the ball away. So if Washington commits to the run, the Bears can commit to stopping the run. I think this is listen. I understand. This is one of those games where Bears
they can
fans
commit to it, but
have
can
been
they
scarred
score?
in the past. They have that feeling. They have that doom and gloom feeling. I think the Bears, with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, are going to start to turn that tide, turn the culture, establish an identity, and start to be a team that's never really out of any single game, never gets the butts. And certainly, I can tell you guys this: if it comes down to a Hail Mary at the end of the game against Washington,
It's not
Dennis
gonna go
Allen will
in.
not let them
It's
score
fucking
that
better
touchdown.
not come down.
I bet you
We
100,000%.
just talked about some bigger picture stuff.
Yeah,
Real quick, DJ Prophet says Hippolyte can spy games. Hippolyte was drafted for that reason. I appreciate you jumping.
Hippolyte's not on the field
Hippolyte's
often.
not active.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if they're going to use him for that.
Hippolyte's an active.
I think Gordon will be in that role more so. You know, having TJ Edwards back does help against the run, but not to the tune of a
And-
yard
and
and a
then-
half per carry.
Hippolyte's an active. It's
Listen,
important to
But
mention.
you're talking
He's not
about
on
the
the field.
Ben Johnson effect and how that's going to impact this Bears team going forward. I don't think it can be understated how important this game is. A lot of Bears fans want to put this game down here like if we lose, it's okay. If we win, it's okay. It is what it is. I think this game kind of determines your season and determines what you were just talking about right there. Is the Ben Johnson effect taking hold? And is this team competing on the road in a prime time spot and up to that moment? The Bears are going to show us a lot tonight. And if you win this game, you're right in the thick of the playoffs. You're right in the thick of your division, and you just be the team that's trying to do the same thing. And if you lose this game, it's a lot more disappointment and it's a lot more, are we going down this way, where we're going to be looking at a 6-7 win season, and we're thinking about next year by the time Thanksgiving comes around. I think this is that type of game
And
tonight.
it's worth mentioning, if we're going to talk about the Ben Johnson effect taking place this week. The coaches of the Chicago Bears over the last 12 years are 2-10 exiting the bye week. So if you want to see an
I don't
impact,
think that means shit personally because this is a different coach.
but I
It's a
think
different situation.
exactly. We're talking about the impact that Ben Johnson might start to make now in this point of the season. If you win a game after the bye week, I think it's safe to say Ben Johnson's certainly making an impact.
I just feel like in the years past, guys, when we have close games like this, these two teams are obviously very closely matched up. Washington is banged up a little bit. I think that makes it even
We got
closer.
Caleb
matchup.
Hader. We got Anthro in the building. What's up, Anthro?
In years past, you feel like for instance, the Seattle game last year where the Bears just could not find a way to score points. They ended up losing the game 6-3, or the Washington game last year where they left the door open and Washington wins on a Hail Mary. This is not the same type of team. I think Ben Johnson is a much better coach. His team is better coached. And I think they're gonna find ways to win games. The question is it now or is it still a few weeks away, a month away? Are they still trying to adapt to Ben Johnson's scheme, this offense, this culture change, this identity shift? I think it starts tonight coming off of the bye week. I think you'll have this team prepared to play. And regardless of the rain, I think the Bears keep it close to the first half and Caleb Williams works his heroics in the fourth quarter.
My concern is that I don't think Ben Johnson knows his team. I don't think we know who the Bears are yet, which is why I can't pick them to win this game tonight. Right? And I don't think Ben Johnson knows yet, too. I think tonight goes a long way in showing Ben Johnson what kind of team he has and what kind of season he should be thinking about in terms of how he's approaching this coaching. Is he trying to get guys ready and accustomed to figure out who's on this roster next year when he's really trying to put it into second gear? Or is he trying to make a play for the playoffs this year? I think the Bears got to show something tonight. The players, a guy like Montez Sweat has to step the fuck up or get out the way. That's how I feel. Like this is that type of, as Mikey said, season-defining game. And I think it's a defining game for the Bears, too, because I don't think they know who they are yet.
No, and can a team without an identity maybe make their identity a team that does what it takes to win? If the Bears have to run the ball well, because that's what's going to win them a game tonight, can they do it?
Like,
The Bears need to get a pass rush on a good quarterback. Can they do it? Is Ben Johnson going to maybe make the identity of this team, we do what it takes to win? Is that possibly the roster that he's working with this season? Are they not going to be able to play ball at the level that the Detroit Lions did 2-3 years into his career? Probably not. The Bears are not going to be that Lions team that took 3 years to mold. They're going to be a team that does what it takes to win. And I think Kyle said something important. I've said this earlier. I think I said it last Thursday, Dustin. I do believe this football team is going to be in a lot of one-score games. And is Ben Johnson the difference enough to win the one-score games? I think they could have 8 remaining one-score games on their schedule. Is he the difference? Because last year, we knew what happened in those 4. Is it here?
Sweden says Sewell will come in and key in this game. He doesn't cover well, but he can play the run and pressure to QB. Stepping up against the run is going to be huge. 100%.
I don't know how much
Dante
is going to play.
What's up, Dante? Ball security is going to be
What's up, Dante?
Yeah, whoever wins the turnover battle is probably going to win this game. The Bears have done a good job at turning over the other team.
Yeah, it's one thing Dennis Allen is doing.
But you know the
Taking the ball.
Commanders are thinking the same thing. We have to have ball security. We cannot turn the ball over. You wonder how much they're going to just stick with the run and not put the ball in Jaden Daniels' hands when it matters.
And the Bears have to find ways to take advantage of
Yes,
their
Mike.
deficiencies. We know right now, as through the 20 games of his career, that Jaden Daniels has not been good at throwing in the middle of the field. He doesn't have 2 of his biggest outside weapons in Noah Brown and Terry McLaurin. They're going to have to find ways to get the ball. They're going to run sweeps with the Deebo Samuel. They're going to try to be creative. The Bears have to take away the middle of the field, force him to
Watch
throw,
out for him.
or take away the outside of the field, force him to throw inside, force him to throw the middle where he's not been good at this point in his career, and take the ball away. That's the way the Bears have won the last 2 games against Dallas and Vegas, is by taking the ball away. They need to be opportunistic. They need to continue to take the ball away, and they need to continue to stop the run. That's slow down the run. Sorry, start to slow down the run. Slow down the
Well,
run.
I think the turnover battle is important because neither one of these.
TJ Edwards is massive.
I know, but it's not a 1.5 yard per carry difference.
No,
No, it's not. It's not taking them from 6 yards allowed, which is a historically bad statistic in the NFL right now, to 4.5. I don't think Edwards makes that difference.
like I said,
I hope
they've
so,
allowed
but I
over
don't
5
think
years to run for the last 2 games, and they found a way to win. They got to continue to play that style of defense. If you're not going to be good at stopping the run, be good on third down efficiency, and be opportunistic and take the ball away when you can. That's what the Bears
And the
have to do.
Commanders do not give the ball away. When Mariota's not playing quarterback, this team has not turned the ball over very
Well,
much. Different when the
Daniels
ball's
is accurate. Daniels is smart with the
He has
football.
1 interception on the
He
season.
makes good decisions in terms of when to run and when to pass.
And the
And
Bears
he
are
can
too.
kill you on 3rd and short and 4th and
The
short.
Bears and the Commanders, both teams do not turn the ball over to high rate. The Bears are really good at protecting the football, guys. One thing I think you could say, one thing you could see Ben Johnson, one thing you could see Ben Johnson instilled right away, man, was do not turn the ball over on my football team. This team, the Bears, do not turn the ball over. He's been really good at ball security.
We keep talking about a statement game for Kate. Is this a statement game for Ben Johnson? I think it is. Is this a statement game for Ben Johnson?
I think
Does
this
establish
you could
something for him?
script it that way. He's going against a former Super Bowl coach who's a defensive coach. He's an offensive coach. It'd be nice to see him winning a game of chess against a guy like Dan Quinn, who I believe is a good. I believe is a good coach. I believe top to bottom, Dan Quinn's a good
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
He has been wherever he goes.
Shorty,
He's a
what
good-
up?
So yeah, I think it would, Justin. I think him beating Pete Carroll was a statement for him, but I think this would be even bigger because, like I said as well, guys, 2019 was the last time the Bears won 3 games in a row. That would be a pretty big deal, I think, too. I mean, it would mean a lot to the players for sure who have been here and dealing with the painful seasons and the painful losses. But yeah, I think Ben Johnson would prove this team's different. If we win 3 games in a row for the first time in 6 years, I think it would say we're here to fucking win.
Listen, on Thursday, we talked about keys to the game. We talked about keeping Jaden Daniels in the pocket. We talked about the Bears being able to establish some kind of semblance of a run. And we talked about the Bears running those 2 tight end sets and doing that effectively. Colston Loveland could be limited. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I would love to see him get involved in this offense and Cole Kmet. But my question is, do you think that any of those keys to the game have changed given what we know now about the weather, this game coming up here very soon? Do you
Well, I think it
anything has
puts more emphasis on the containing Jaden Daniels. Now that the rain has fallen, I would imagine he's going to want to run the ball more than he throws it. So I think you have to contain Jaden. Containing
hasn't changed?
containing Jaden Daniels just became far more important because you had to stop the run before this game, before you knew the weather, regardless. Now Jaden Daniels will not prefer to throw the ball over or run it, and we know that he can. And like when you were saying what you were saying earlier, the problem with Jaden Daniels is even when you're good at containing him and keeping him in the pocket, he's still going to get some yards against him. Kids,
I worry about 3rd down, 4th down, or 3rd and short.
yeah,
4th and
getting off the
short.
field.
You know Dan Quinn's going to go for it, and you know that he has maybe one of the top 3 weapons in the league in terms of getting a 1st down when you need it, and Jaden Daniels. So is there a way to stop that for the Bears? Because I can't envision it. So, like, if every time the Commanders get into a spot where the Bears do so Kyle talked about 3rd down. We can get off the field on 3rd down, but this is a team that'll go for it on 4th. Can the Bears stop him? Is Kyler Gordon the secret to that? Or are the Bears just kind of fucked when it's 4th and 1,
No,
4th
yeah,
and 2?
the
Jaden
short
Daniels is
yardage
going to be
problem.
getting that 1st down.
The short yardage problem is going to be a problem as long as these guys up front are playing the way they are. Grady Jarrett's not playing tonight, and I don't even know if that's good or bad, to be honest with you. Which doesn't say a whole lot about the Bears' defensive tackle position. They're really
I'm not going to make
really
it
weak up front. If that have failed time and time again have got to do more. That's it.
Paul says Montez Sweat better show up. And that's what I just said earlier.
And Javon Dexter and these guys in the middle. These guys that can't seem to plug a gap.
Yes.
These guys that get moved 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. You're never
To me,
going to
it's Javon Dexter. I mean, I need Sweat to get in there. I need Sweat to get some pressure on Daniels and maybe force some mistakes. But Javon Dexter is the key to this game in terms of getting pressure up the middle.
And
on
Andrew
Jaden
Billings.
Daniels. Keep him contained in the pocket on the outside and get pressure up the middle, push that pocket, and also stop the run.
Yeah, Andrew
Javon
Billings.
Dexter needs to have the best game of his career tonight for the Bears to have a chance to win.
Where's the Andrew Billings we saw a year ago? Where's the guy we were all proud Ryan Poles landed in free agency? He's been awful this year. That's even if he's been on the field because it doesn't seem like the Bears trust him a lot. But you remember how much we were pitched, Dustin, when he was on the field early last year. The Bears were in top 10 that nobody ran. They averaged 73 yards rushing against the Bears. Well, Billings is back. And that is not,
He's not really being
making the
utilized
impact.
in this defense.
No, he's not.
the
That's
same
what
way.
I'm saying. He's not even on the
Problem.
field, but it's not making the impact that you thought it might, because now you have Jaquan Brisker, you have Andrew Billings, you have the two guys that you thought were the
Thank you for being
problem
here,
last
Squeegee.
You thought were a problem last year. They're back, and the run defense looks worse than it did at the end of last season. I don't think this gets better, Justin. I don't think if the Commanders are going forward on 4th and 1, the Bears
So then how do you pick the Bears to win this game if you don't think it gets better? That's the way that this game is going to be won.
because I think the Bears are going to continue to do things like they did against Vegas, which could have gone either way. They should have lost the Vegas game. They blocked a field goal. I think that the Bears have that.
They
instilled
find
in
that way to get a turnover.
I think
and
that
get the
will be
ball
their
out.
identity, is when it comes time to make a play, somebody on this roster will step up and do it. That's the difference in having players that actually believe in their coaches and guys who do.
These guys do believe in each other, and I mean, speaking of that belief, Tyree Stevenson is it's a big story tonight. You know, he's the guy who's wearing that
He's got a lot to
still
prove.
from last year and how he messed up that Hail Mary situation. I think he has a big game tonight. He's been one of the best cover cornerbacks in the league over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's shut down some good players. We need him to be on point tonight and maybe find a way to force that ball out with that grip one more time.
I think the Bears are very capable of eliminating the wide receiver core from Washington entirely. Is that a bold statement?
One more time, say it.
I think the Bears secondary is capable of erasing the Commanders receiving core entirely. From
They can cancel that out. They can cancel that out, I think.
I'm
But
worried
it comes
about
down to
Zach
Jaden
Ertz.
Daniels and Zach Ertz.
I'm worried about
Yeah.
Ertz. I'm worried about this running back, the entire room of running backs this team has that can effectively catch the ball as well. But the wide receiver position,
J2K. Booker is out. Booker is still on injured reserve. They did not bring him back. He practiced in full the last 2 days, but they put him back.
He was-
Him and home.
he was designated to return, but they left him off the roster, and they
Yep.
would have had to cut somebody to put him on the roster. Maybe they're not ready to do that quite yet, because the Bears have a lot of needs right now. Because who else did they pull up?
Tony, what's up?
Ford.
Yeah,
Pulled up Ford.
Okay.
So I think they felt they needed Ford more than they needed Booker, which to me is crazy. But the Bears have to fill one roster spot. They chose not to do it with Booker.
Well, it makes you wonder how ready
Yes,
Booker is.
It does, which is why I texted
How
you
much
guys.
longer we're not going to be seeing him.
Which is why I texted you guys. I see some healthy scratches in Austin Booker's future. I don't think the Bears believe that he's ready to be on the football field, whether or not he's deemed healthy.
And the Bears need that desperately. They need pass rush. The Bears have not
Yeah,
been
you need
able
to
to
get
get
him.
it.
You need to get him up to
And
speed.
as I said, man, on Thursday, I'm not looking for this to be a game of a high sack number for the Bears. I don't expect it, and I don't necessarily want it. I think the integrity of the pass rush lanes is where it counts against Jaden Daniels, and I think you just make him beat you with his arm when he's missing so many of his weapons tonight. And you just hope that Tremaine Edmonds can stay on Zach Ertz. Kyler Gordon can help with that. You know what I'm saying? And that we can kind of eliminate the tight end, because I think tight ends have shown an ability to get off on this Bears defense. And Zach Ertz is a guy that can sneak up on you and score a touchdown or two and get some big first downs. Jaden Daniels, you need to make him beat you with his arm, and you need to eliminate Zach Ertz as an option for him. You need to focus heavily on that. You do.
I am gluing Tyreek Stevenson to Deebo Samuel, and I am throwing everybody else I have at Zach Ertz. My game plan, if I'm Dennis Allen, would be to eliminate Zach Ertz from this offense. If you can do that with the receivers they have left, because they are dying for him, I think the Bears are in much better shape. You can remove Zach Ertz, but yeah, you've said it. You said it already, Dustin. This team has not shown the ability to do that either. They can't seem to take tight ends out of the play.
You predicted the Bears to win, what, 28-24? That's your
It was 24-21. It was like a field goal in the 20s. Yeah.
changing. Drake May on Sunday night against the Bills on the
Yeah,
road.
or like the game,
Yeah.
or like the game you saw against Vegas. And Caleb could have a very similar game to the one he did against Vegas. He gets you in the end zone when it
What you're
matters.
describing to me, what it sounds like though, is like Caleb just makes the plays when you need them the most.
Yeah.
A third,
And it's not
5,
pretty.
A third, yeah, and he just gets the job done and finds a
And
way.
Crowley
to get the
leaves with some bruises and some pain.
Yeah.
Caleb's gonna wake up tomorrow, I think,
So
feeling.
you think Caleb? You think Caleb's going to get sacked?
and he's gonna rush the ball.
But do you think he's going to get sacked? Do you think they're going to be able to get pressure?
I'd say at least, I don't know, this offensive lineman has been, if you look at the numbers, they're really good because Caleb's just as good at evading a pass rush as the Bears are at blocking one. They haven't been phenomenal, but the two factor together, it's really tough to bring Caleb Williams down. So I could see 1 to 2 sacks against Caleb. I still think he's able to evade pressure, even more so in the rain. I like Caleb Williams, guys, running the ball a lot in this football game. I could see Caleb having 7 or 8 carries for 50 to 60 yards and then being very meaningful to how this game's going.
How he reacts to the pressure, because the pressure is going to get there.
And big
this defensive line is going to get
third
pressure
down runs. I could see, you know what I mean? Like you have so much talent at pass in these pass catchers, these skill positions, that I think defenses could become so concerned about that in third and long. Tend to forget about Caleb Williams' ability to run the ball. I still today don't think Caleb Williams is looked at as a quarterback that presents a threat running the football. I think as long as the league, as long as the league intends to play it that way, he's going to keep running the ball down.
Shorty's asking, do you think this could be the DJ Roshan breakout game? We already talked about Roshan. You don't really think Roshan, you're more leaning towards the young guy.
I think DJ is going to be utilized a lot in this football game. DJ's been historically good against the Washington Commanders, no matter who he's been playing for and what season it was. I think DJ Moore is going to be an impactful player in this game. I don't know that I'm not saying throw him in your fantasy lineups, but sometimes, guys, it's the dirty work. Yeah, sometimes it's the dirty work that makes an impact.
DJ Moore is going to get more carries out of the backfield in this game than he has had.
He's going to run the ball, and they've been doing that a lot in practice.
I think they're ramping up for that. I think they're trying to try some new shit. I think DJ, especially in this weather, is going to get more of the handoffs out of the backfield, maybe some trick plays, some end arounds.
And I think
Roman Dunze is it for the big game of these receivers personally.
I talked to Mikey.
The weather scares me, man, with this passing game.
I talked to Mikey before going on air. This would be a really good game to scheme up some Luther Burden stuff, some short passes, some screen passes. The weather's crap. You want to get the ball into a playmaker's hand, expect him to do more with it. Luther Burden's the guy I would probably plant. If the Bears think that they can turn short yardage into big yardage, that's the guy you want there.
And J2K was on top of it here. He says Ben brought up the screen game as something they needed to improve. I'm thinking he might have fixed that over the bye. Screen game versus that D-line trying to get that pressure on Caleb and in bad weather could really work. And that you got Luther Burden, as you just brought up, who can make yards after the catch. Rome, who can do things after the catch. DJ can do things after the catch. And hell, Cole Kmet, Posted Loveland, DeAndre Swift. I mean, these guys can make plays. The quicker you get the ball out of Caleb's hands in this game, get it in the hands of your playmakers with maybe some space and some blocking, that can supplement your run game too. And both Mikey brought up Caleb, and you brought up Caleb supplementing that run game. That screen game can supplement your run game too, and Caleb still gets into that rhythm early.
And I think the Commanders are going to take this approach as well, because I don't know. Am I crazy, guys? The Commanders have like 37 running backs, so they're going to take the same approach. They're going to throw. They're going to throw the ball short and expect yards after the catch. Both teams kind of play this way regardless of the weather anyways. They both loaded their teams with yak guys. So, I think the Bears and Commanders. So, Dustin, it might come down to who can make bigger plays. Come down to which team. And dismissing McLaurin really hurt this Commanders team, considering you're expecting most of the yards to come after the catch.
It should. I mean, Debo is great after the catch. Debo's been great this season. He's a guy you really got to key on, obviously.
Yeah, especially in this weather.
Tony brings up Moody. Again, I just want to say this. I have big concerns about Moody being the kicker in this game, guys. This guy misses big kicks like it's his job. He's got a good leg, but his accuracy, and especially when the pressure is on, is god-awful. I would feel much better with Santos in this situation. If this game comes down to a field goal and it's on Moody's leg, that could have disastrous implications. I just want to throw that out there.
He's lost more games than he's won. There's no doubt about it. I actually can't think back to a game that Moody won for a football team. And didn't the Niners draft him?
Yes, they drafted him in the third round out of Michigan, and he lost them the Super Bowl. Basically, he missed some big kicks. So I mean, I am concerned about that and the factor that will have in tonight's game.
Have you noticed that Panero and Gold ended up in San Fran and now Moody's here? It's like these two teams just interchanged.
Panero had killed it. He hasn't missed since he got to the
game-winning field goal. Yeah. We don't want Moody kicking game winners, man. You cannot listen. If it comes down to Moody having to kick a game-winning field goal, Ben Johnson's going to go for it.
That's what J2K is saying right here.
They're gonna-
J2K are like,
They're going to go for it. Ben Johnson already wants to, and knowing that his kicker is less efficient, he will use that as an excuse to do it.
and as we said before, you're going to live and die with Ben Johnson going for it on fourth down in Chicago. He is going to be that type of coach. And
And-
you're going to see some moments like that tonight between both of these coaches because both of these coaches like to do that. They play the odds, they play the analytics, and they want to keep the ball in their
And they trust their
offense's hands.
quarterbacks.
Yes.
I think Ben is starting to trust Caleb, and you know that these guys trust Jaden.
So
Daniels.
whoever wins that fourth down conversion game tonight, that could play a big factor in who ends up winning this game,
And they
which is
both,
coming up real soon.
and they
Game
both
starts
might be. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else wanted to chime in. I guess we already gave our scores on Thursday.
Yep. I mean, way to kill the conversation. Good job.
I think wrap it up, man.
Wrap it
With
up.
these guys.
All right. We've been going here for 40 minutes. We are excited for this game. We are at 102 North River Street.
Yeah, come out, guys.
Dundee. I mean,
Notorious.
If you feel,
Notorious,
feel
I
the
better see you
information.
here. He said he lives in Dundee.
Yeah, Notorious said he might show up. Notorious ain't even in the chat, though. So like,
Hopefully it's because he's in the car.
Yeah, I'm not begging. I mean, we would love to see all of y'all. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna watch this game. Hopefully, bring some good vibes and find a way to get a Bears win tonight. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams statement game. I'm excited to see how this plays out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but it could end up being heartbreaking. The game is starting now, guys.
And I don't want the Bears to look past any opponent, guys. But it's important to note that if you do win this football game, you have New Orleans coming to Chicago to possibly go to 4-2. This game is important for your
And if you
season.
lose this game, you got New Orleans coming to Chicago to possibly go to 2-4.
Yeah.
So
So
it
this
can
is
go
huge.
either way. And the Saints are a feisty team, man.
Yeah, Rattler.
I'm not writing anything.
If they had
off.
Chuck, I'd feel better.
Yeah.
That's like saying something.
Guys, Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams, number 1 versus number 2, Bears versus Commanders, playoffs,
Monday night
implications are on the
showdown.
lines, wild card implications. I am excited. I hope y'all have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already.
Drink
102 North River
responsibly.
Street. Got all kinds of deals. We got raffles going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. But
Come out, guys.
Have a good one.
Otherwise, bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.